Centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is packed with 12 days of fun with food, rides, shows, and so much more. And right in the middle of it all, you'll find Indigenous voices making an impact. Visit with Native authors and mathematicians, watch drum groups, hear presentations, enjoy music, and see our stories uplifted across the fairgrounds. It's all included with your state fair admission. Tickets are just $17 through August 26th at mnstatefair.org. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through September 7th.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 57, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 86. The Great Wall has been your home for Chinese favorites since 1981. Don't miss the sesame chicken, mushu pork with Chinese pancakes, or Peking duck. Stop in at the restaurant on France Avenue and 45th Street along the Minneapolis-Edina City line, or check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, today we're going to have our friend Dr. Stately stop by real quick and give us an update on the building and whatever else is going on in the avenue. And then we also have a new guest tonight, Indi Prairie Chicken, who's a nurse, and we'll be talking about many things from IHB, and so we're really excited about that. I'm wondering if I could bring our producer on and just talk a little bit before Dr. Stately gets on, and we're really excited. The fair is coming up, and I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's going to come out to the fair. You know, we're at the West End Market on Thursday and Friday. We'll be live at the State Fair. West End Market, and I'll be more specific, and you can see, you could look it up on, believe it or not, the map is on the State Fair website, and they have an unbelievable website. It talks about all the things that are at Native Roots Trading Post, so it's pretty exciting, and so that's happening Thursday and Friday, and of course, on Sunday, it's going to be Indigenous Peoples Day, and I always like to talk about that being every day for us. And so I want to welcome our friend, Dr. Stately on. Great to see you, Doctor. Thank you so much for coming on. And
Absolutely.
a lot going on in the community and a lot going on with the clinic. And let's get caught up. Good to see you.
Thank you. You as well. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty good. You know, we're getting ready for the fair. And so that's either we're at the fair or we're watching our grandkids. And I don't know which is harder.
I think what's harder is watching them at the fair.
Yeah. So that's why we're watching them, because then the kids can go set up the fair. But yeah. Are you going to be able to make it out to Indigenous Peoples Day?
I'm gonna try to. I think it's
Sunday.
this weekend. It's Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
It's likely that I won't, only because I'm headed out to South Dakota for a relative's wedding in Custer, Minnesota. So
Yeah, in Custer, Dakota, you mean, or is it Minnesota?
Custer, South Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know where we kind of had that. Well, I'm Ojibwe. We didn't do it, but you know, some Prairie people chased him into like Montana, and
Yeah, exactly. Well, they ended up with a flag too. That they were.
That's true. Yeah.
And I'm excited
Anyway,
to have it.
yeah,
And still have it.
I'm excited to go. It's I'm gonna we're gonna leave on Friday afternoon, and we're gonna drive through the Black Hills, which I haven't been to in a while, probably since my kids were maybe like 8 or 9, I think. And then go to the Badlands too if we have time, because that first day we're there, the wedding is the next day on Saturday, and then we'll come home on Sunday. And I'm being a bougie Indian, I'm flying there and flying back, because I just can't fathom a 9-hour drive 2 ways in 2 days. It's just like,
No, you're too old for that.
Thank you.
For me, a pack of smokes and some coffee, and I'm on it. But that was my younger years too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been you know, I mean, I don't mind making those trips when I can, like, wherever I land, I'm there for longer than a day or two. So like I was just in South Dakota, Rosebud, in July for 4 days for Sundance, which was beautiful. Beautiful. I love the place there. I love the space and the place there, and being among those relatives. It's just really beautiful. It's a beautiful place, peaceful. You know, there's all the things to love about it. So.
Yeah. Speaking of the Badlands, the last time I was there with Clyde Belcourt, and he was talking about how they started, how Wounded Knee came about, and he was awesome. He'd have his pipe out and tell us the stories, and I was lucky kind of to have him befriend me in his later years, when he was more of a kind of a grandpa-like person, and not someone that knocks the doors down and doesn't take any crap. But it was good to hear those stories.
Yeah. I knew him most of my life, but he was, that's true. His last decade or two was a pretty nice experience. He would come to, he was the founding board member of NAC. You look back, and so NAC became an entity when I was on the West Coast still. And that all of those things that happened that created NAC was happening while I was living on the West Coast. And it was a completely different time in my life, and I wasn't much connected to this specific place in my homeland, mostly as a result of my mother dying in the late 80s, and just all there was for a long time I didn't feel like I wanted to be back here. It was a painful experience to lose my mother at 23 or 24. And and so I hadn't come back until my kids were born, and then coming back and being in the community and being back home and here in in South Minneapolis and the surrounding area was like, he was all grown up and so was I. And the last time I had spent time with him before that was probably when I was a really young person, like in my early 20s. And I think just generally, and I think he scared everybody who was young. I mean, I have good memories of him. He lived, he would come to my aunt and my aunt Myra and his brother, my uncle Les, lived across a driveway from us for a really long time. So Clyde and Pat and their kids, and also Vern and his family would come frequently. So I'd spend a lot of time with them growing up. But he had that big voice, that big booming voice that would scare us.
Yeah. Well, I'd love the stories too about what did he call it? Confrontational work, where if you knock on the door, they don't answer, you keep knocking, and then if they don't answer, you knock the door down. And that's kind of how he was when his younger years.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Yeah,
sounds like him. Sounds like my Uncle Dennis and all of them. They were the kind of people that didn't take no for an answer.
Yeah. Well, we're glad,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things on Franklin Avenue because of them not taking no for an answer.
Yeah. A lot of things in Franklin Avenue, a lot of things across the nation that were built off of the work that they had done, and the work that many other people in the community had done as well. So we're all better off for that, for sure. But sometimes you got to knock a door down. That's just
Yeah, you do. Hey, well,
Yeah.
I know we only got you for a short time today. I'd love to talk about maybe some updates of what's happening at this great clinic, and then later in the show,
Sure.
we got IHB coming in and taking your thunder away. So we want to make sure that you got some thunder going on.
Yeah, I'm okay with sharing my thunder.
I know you are. Hey, we are here with Dr. Stately, and this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Hey, stay with us. Ho-wah.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a non-stop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation. Hey, this is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is more than food on a stick. It's a chance to celebrate Native culture and voices. On August 31st and September 1st, Native folk and blues rocker Keith Sokola and the Rangers, with special guest Gary Farmer, play the Prairie stage at 8 p.m. both nights. This concert is free with fair admission. The State Fair runs August 27th through September 7th. Get your tickets at mnstatefair.org.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we're here with our friend Dr. Stately. And Dr. Stately, are you going to be at the fair Thursday and Friday at all? We're doing a live show there, and it'd sure be cool to see you stop by and maybe get a free T-shirt for all the hard work you've done all these years at Native
thank you.
Radio.
This Thursday and Friday, or next?
Yes.
I might be able to squeeze that in. I can't do Friday for sure because I'll be on a plane on my way to Custer, but Thursday I might be able to squeeze it in. We'll see.
Yeah.
You're only there those 2 days?
Yeah, and then I'm lurking around and watching what my kids are doing, and from a distance with binoculars. And we'll be there the 30th too with Native Day, Indian Day at the fair, and so we'll be back and forth there. And you'll be happy to hear this. I'll be on NPR from 1:30 to 2:30 on Indigenous Peoples Day, so I'll give you a quick shout out there too.
Nice, awesome. I thought that's the place we don't talk about. Just kidding. But yeah, I probably won't be able to unless I can magically free up some time on Thursday. We'll see. I got a busy week, and I'm leaving for South Dakota on Friday morning. Yeah, and I'm going to go hang out with some Indians in a different fair. And I think one of the things, I'm I'm probably going to be like handed my, you know what for saying this, but like I'm just not a really big fair lover.
Oh.
I've done it over the last few years, mostly because my kids were younger and like I would take them. So
yeah.
The last couple of years, I haven't done that. I've let them go on their own. Also, which, I would lurk from a distance in the parking lot because I was anxious about, all of the nefarious activities that would take place there sometimes. So I have a little bit of ambivalence about that this year, but I think it's going to be fine. That said, I'm not a big fair goer. I don't really love to eat the fair food. I mean, I want to nibble on a piece or two, but I don't there's no reason for me to walk around with a big, huge pork chop on a stick because I'm not going to eat the whole thing. I'm on Ozempic now and I don't eat hardly anything. Anyway, it's just, for me, it's about I do like to do things like go in the place where the state government has all of its things. I like to go and talk to some of those people because sometimes it's the only time I get to talk to them about some of their programming. And then I might also go and, I'm not a big ride goer. I think probably told you this story before. I fell, I think years ago when my dog dragged me through my backyard. I fell on the ice a couple of years ago, and I got some whiplash and maybe a little bit of a concussion too. And ever since then, if I'm on a ride and it's a ride that goes too fast or too quickly, it does give me some vertigo or feelings, and it also gives me a headache. So I just don't go on big rides anymore. So
well, it's a big people watching thing, and I know Wendy and I go there because, believe it or not, there are a lot of vegan options there. And,
there are. I mean, there are really cool things to do. I'm not particularly, I wouldn't say that I'm not happy in crowds. I'm not happy in huge crowds.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, this, because you're one too. You're an elder. I don't want to get run over by people. And sometimes you get, if you're not careful, you get run over by, more likely you're trampled by people than you would by a tractor. But the point being is,
yeah. Well, that reminds me of the old days climbing up on those old tractors back in the day, Machinery Hill.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember a few years ago, it was fun when my children were really small and I loved it, and they still go even as adults. And, I think I told you this, I'm going to be a grandpa here sometime this next year.
Yes. Robert's name for a boy. I just want to throw that out.
Thank you. And then I loved to do the thing with the bean bags, you know, or what is like the flour sacks go down the thing. I used to love doing that.
Yeah.
All those things. I used to love to go and sit in the little thing where WCCO would have, like, you know, the little things. They'd show up and you could sit in the audience or sit inside and watch the shows. Yeah. So I mean, I've loved all those, and you know, I don't think it makes me a bad Minnesotan not to go, but I just. Yeah.
Oh, you'll be there. Now, the way you're talking about it, you'll be there. So
I probably will, but I just probably won't be there when you're there. And if I do, I'll have somebody snap a selfie of me, and they'll send it to you just as evidence that I went. So,
well, it's pretty chill at the West End Market where our store is, which I really like because the fair could be just jam-packed people, and we have a nice mellow crowd down there.
Yeah, I like your little location. You have the same place, don't you? Probably, or around the same place. Yeah.
No, it's exact same place. It's right next to the taxidermist, so it's Cowboys and Indians down there.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. That was fun the last time I was there with you all. It was a lot of fun, actually. There was somebody that had a little teepee too, wasn't there? Or was that your little teepee?
That was our location. Wow, you haven't been there in 6 years then, because
it's been a while.
Or 5 years. The first year we had a teepee, and then if you remember, there was a major storm and it blew it down, and
I remember
it was
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so we haven't had a teepee since, because we had we used it for storage too, and people were taking pictures by it. It was pretty cool. It was a children's sized teepee, so it was only like 8 poles, but yeah, we're not doing that again. That was and then we never got it up right.
All I knew was too small for me to crawl into. So,
well, yeah, I needed help to get up, and I was crawling in it. Hey, so we figured that out. You're going to be out of town on the 30th, and you'll probably come Thursday, and get a T-shirt and hang out at the show because I'm doing the show live there. What else is going on? The building that you guys have is unbelievably beautiful. I can't wait to get invited to come in.
Yeah, we're going to start doing some, we're calling them sister org tours. We're going to be inviting all of our sister orgs throughout the cultural corridor, and of course all of the folks that are sister orgs across the Twin Cities to, you know, handful of them and their staff to come and take a tour. We want to give them a tour of the new clinic. We also want to, you know, like make sure everybody understands, like, you know, what we're doing in that new space, and we want to help them understand all the different programs we have available to the people that they serve. And it's also an opportunity for us to strengthen partnerships and all of those things. And so it's really exciting. I think the first couple of weeks, we're going to sort of like just kind of, you know, we're going to have a slow opening and make sure that staff, know how to move from point A to point B, because it's a much larger, it's twice the size of our current footprint. And so staff are going to have to learn how to go from point A to point B to point C and navigate the space, and they'll spend the time doing those things. We'll see probably a few less patients during those first couple of weeks, because we're giving more time to staff to be able to just wayfind and grow into the space and get comfortable and understand it better, so they can kind of be help relatives when they get there. We're going to have like a soft opening or like a grand opening kind of type event that's going to be tethered to our Fall Harvest Fest that we normally have earlier in the year, like around mid-September, first or a few weeks in September, after the fair, because nobody would come if it was during the fair. And then we will give, so our partner in that Fall Harvest Fest will be Dream of Wild Health, be giving out fresh food and food boxes and also medicines that have been harvested through either some of our programming and or through our traditional healing program, for people to sort of have, food as medicine, and also teas and other things that they can use for medicines as they close out the year and they move into winter. They all need things like elderberry tea and all these other things that keep us healthy during like the winter months. And it's an opportunity for us to give small tours to people that show up at that event. They'll be brought into the building and been given little tours of the area. People will get to see the new art in the building and the lobby, which will be really amazing. I think one of the things I'm the most excited about I'm excited about the whole thing, but I'm really excited about our community room, which is at the front of the new building on the west side. That's where a lot of our traditional healing work will take place, like our workshops, our regalia making workshops, moccasin making workshops, tea making, all, the baby moccasins that we make for the annual baby shower. Those are all things that will take place in there. And other things we'll be able to host. We'll be able to bring our cedar ceremony back to our own organization and have it in our own lobby, which would be nice. Those are all really great, exciting things that'll be part of it.
Wow, how exciting. And, you've been on the show for so long. This was just a dream just a few years ago, and great work for you. Good on you. And I know other people have really helped out too. This is amazing for Indian country and the Twin Cities.
Well, thank you. And next time I'm on, I can talk a little bit maybe about the housing. And I think probably what I'd want to do is invite our housing partner to be on that show. NAC doesn't own and operate the housing, but we're working in partnership with that organization to provide deeply affordable housing and also supportive housing services to our relatives that need housing. And that is one of the most important foundations of health and well-being, is having some stability, a place to live. So.
Absolutely. We'll do that, Dr. Stately. Thanks again. I know you're busy, and I appreciate you stopping in.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Robert Pilot. At the Great Minnesota Get-Together, Native Voices take center stage on Indigenous Peoples Day at Dan Patch Park, August 30th. A full day of programming showcases Indigenous peoples' interconnectedness through language, culture, art, and food. Enjoy theatrical performances, music, dance, and presentations along with more than 20 exhibitors from across the state. This is all free with fair admission. Tickets are just $17 at mnstatefair.org through August 26th. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through September 7th. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible Indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free at one of 6 express bus sites and take a nonstop air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. Or take one of the 3 regular bus routes that serve the fairgrounds. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state-fair. That's metrotransit.org/state-fair.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. I know no one wants to talk about this, but summer is going to be winding down already, and we're all going to be rushing to make the most of the month before State Fair time arrives. While we're trying to cram in as much of that final summer fun as we can, don't forget to stop and smell the flowers. But if you realize what you actually smell is the carpet, you gotta call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to freshen up the late summer feeling. Zero Res can take care of almost any surface in your home: carpet, tile, rugs, hardwood, upholstery, and much more. If it's been months since your last deep clean, it's time to call. Zero Res is marking the end of summer with this amazing sale. Buy 2 rooms of carpet cleaning and get 2 rooms of carpet for free, plus 20% off all air duct cleaning services. Call 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res. With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 57, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 86. The Great Wall has been your home for Chinese favorites since 1981. Don't miss the sesame chicken, mushu pork with Chinese pancakes, or Peking duck. Stop in at the restaurant on France Avenue and 45th Street along the Minneapolis-Edina City line, or check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
AM 950 KTN up, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Native Roots Radio. Hey, we have our guest on today, and Indi. I would really welcome to Native Roots Radio. It's great to see you, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about IHB, and that's rock and roll. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Indi Prairie Chicken. My last name is Ogallala. My husband and his family are from Pine Ridge. Excuse me, but I'm Ojibwe, and I'm enrolled in White Earth. I also have grandparents from Red Lake and Leech Lake. I was born and raised in Minneapolis, and I currently work at the Indian Health Board.
Wow, there's a lot going on in our community and has been. I mean, we're here to talk a little bit about heart health, and that's so important. And there's so many different reasons that you specifically know about heart health. Can you talk to our audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, heart health is important because, unfortunately, it does affect American Indians at higher rates than the general population. And it's also important to know that heart health affects men younger, but that doesn't mean that women aren't affected either. And so as women age, they have different risks, such as menopause puts them at greater risk. So it's definitely something that we all kind of need to pay attention to.
Yeah, I know one of the things that we don't talk a lot about is women's heart issues because they have heart attacks just as much as men, and sometimes more because they go undiagnosed.
Yeah, definitely. Women, like I mentioned before, definitely experience heart attacks and heart disease, strokes, like men, and it is a leading cause, of death for women and men. But I think, for women, it's especially important to pay attention to because, and this is to be general information to always kind of consult with your provider, but women, can experience chest pain, but they also can experience other symptoms such as like fatigue. They can experience, things that kind of we would kind of think of that are like might not be concerning, but like arm pain, back pain, jaw pain. So I think it's important to just kind of notice when you don't feel well, because the symptoms can kind of be masked in what we might think of as like every day. You're just kind of feeling tired and unusual.
Yeah, definitely. So those are the things that we should really look for, and converse with your elders and the women in your family about how they're feeling, and really get down to it, and don't let them shrug it off, because a lot of times I know I'm a big baby, but a lot of times people aren't, and they, really tolerate pain, and they shouldn't. They should really check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I think even, we definitely at the doctor's office, we always want to see you, of course, when you're not feeling well, but I always want to stress to everybody that even when you are feeling well, definitely it's always good to come into the provider's office so we can kind of talk about preventative care because a lot of the, things such as heart attack and stroke, if we're able to kind of see you early enough, we can kind of prevent some of these things from happening. And that's kind of by, knowing things like such as your blood pressure and what that typically runs, your other risk factors like managing diabetes. So we definitely always want to see people before anything happens. But of course, I always tell people, trust your body best and to trust yourself when something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny too because sometimes you can have the best diet in the world and still have these ailments because they're hereditary at times.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you bring that up because I think, as you know, I kind of want to talk about Native people. Like we typically, like look at health and wellness holistically, and like part of that is, incorporating, our traditional foods are part of a heart healthy diet, and so, sometimes, even when we are doing the right things, like there's genetic factors that put us at greater risk. And so it's really making sure that you kind of check in with your provider to know your risk and then also take the steps to manage these risks because sometimes you might need medication along with, diet and exercise.
Hmm. Yeah. And I know getting out and just doing 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk after dinners or after food, and just a nice stroll just to get out there and keep things moving really help. And sometimes, we don't have time to do that, but you almost have to force yourself because we look at like, oh, I got to exercise for 2 hours, but really just getting out there for 10 minutes after you eat is a really good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up because, I think we all live busy lives these days when we're, working and we're in school and we're taking care of other people that, it doesn't always have to be these big, chunks of time where we're setting aside to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. But, you mentioned 10 minutes, even walking 10 minutes after your largest meal of the day has benefits to your overall health.
Yeah, and I don't know, Indy, if you've heard this, but I heard something that really kind of struck me when it comes to my health. If what I'm doing right now, whether I'm working out or walking, will really affect me 10 years ago from now. So when I'm 75, I'll be in better shape because what I did 10 years before that. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, I think, it's important that we're taking steps today to help benefit our own physical body in the future. And it kind of goes back to a body in motion stays in motion. It's kind of some
Yeah.
basic physics, but it really does make a difference when the way that we care for our bodies now and how our bodies respond in the future. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be, you know, big chunks of time, but just really focusing on the small things that we can do every day.
Hey, we're going to have you a couple segments, and one of the things I would really like to know, I just want to segue into a different subject. How did you become a nurse? Talk about the process, and I'm sure you had support because that's a lot of school.
Yeah, so I actually, from as early as I can remember, I always wanted to be a nurse, and my grandma actually is a nurse herself, and I grew up watching her. I don't know, just really take care of other people within our family. I saw her take care of others within the community and then also like professionally. And I always admired her for that and was always drawn to the field of nursing because there's so much that you can do. And what is especially unique about nursing is that we get to spend more times with patients and you can develop that rapport and really get to know patients and like what is helpful for them. So we're able to provide that patient-centered care. And, my own educational journey, I initially thought I wanted to be done with school right away. So I enrolled in an associate's program for nursing. And then from there, I kind of really found that, education was enjoyable and school and learning and all those things. And then got into a Bachelor of Science nursing program. So there's all different ways that a person can become a nurse. And so there's even master's programs for nurses if somebody already has a bachelor's degree in another field. And so I love nursing. I always support people that are interested in going into nursing. So.
Well, that's awesome. And one of the things too, I'm a former high school teacher, and you really get excited to learn when you learn things that you want to learn. When you get out of that general education, which makes you want to think and have critical thinking. But when you're able to learn things that really apply to you, that's when we get excited, and our young ones need to hear that.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think once you start exploring things that you're interested in, that's like the fun part I think about college, right? Is like you get to actually pick classes that you find enjoyable, and from there you can kind of find your way for whatever a person is interested in. There's all kinds of things available.
Yeah, and it's been many years since I've been in college, but what I found out I liked a couple things like geography, or I couldn't believe that I liked it, but the instructor and I mean geology, not geography, geology, and see, I can't even talk. And I really enjoyed that, and I was really surprised.
Yeah, I think once we talk about other things, like I think for myself, I didn't realize how much I liked math and like biostatistics and like, kind of getting into the numbers and stuff. So yeah, I think, kind of going back to like nursing, I think we need more native healthcare, more natives in healthcare, whether that's nursing, whether, that's like phlebotomy, providers. And so, I always tell people the time's going to pass anyways. And so, why not, learn something along the way.
Well, Indy, we're gonna take a break here in a few minutes, but I'd really like to get back into women health. But I was really interested in your journey, and that sounds really cool that your grandma was a nurse too, and so it's good to see you, because as a former teacher, it's always good for me to see our young ones see somebody that looks like them doing something that maybe they thought was not really in their jam, but here you are, Indy, doing it and helping the community and helping our people. So that's amazing. So we're going to take a quick break. I just gave you a compliment, and we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. This is Native Roots Radio. Oh, wow.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex. recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is packed with 12 days of fun with food, rides, shows, and so much more. And right in the middle of it all, you'll find Indigenous voices making an impact. Visit with Native authors and mathematicians, watch drum groups, hear presentations, enjoy music, and see our stories uplifted across the fairgrounds. It's all included with your state fair admission. Tickets are just $17 through August 26th at mnstatefair.org. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 27th through September 7th.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back. This is Native Roots Radio, and we are with the Assistant Clinical Director of Indian Health Board, Indi, Prairie, Chicken. And before we get going here, I want to read something here. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, here it is. We have a upcoming event here at the Indian Health Board hosting an Elders Brain Health, a gathering August 27th. The gathering includes health assessments, a health and resource fair, brain train culture activities, and a meal. The gathering honors Karen Badeau. Details, it's August 27th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. And so that's awesome and so needed for the community. That's so cool. Welcome back again, Indi.
Thanks. Yeah. And the event is going to be great. So we hope that everybody can make it down to the Indian Center this Thursday.
Yeah. And you guys have a new building that's being built I've been able to watch that grow. And I think I was at 2 or 3 years ago, the groundbreaking, and the governor was there, and it was quite cool. A lot of people there, and it's just so cool to see that really beautiful building come to fruition.
Yeah, no, I think even when we think about the history of the Indian Health Board, the Indian Health Board started because, there was a woman, Gloria, who had experienced discrimination, and she died from a preventable illness. And Indian Health Board kind of started as a result of that, as a grassroots effort, in response to what Native people were experiencing in the city. And so to see where we're going now, it just amazes me. And the new building will be open to patients starting September 22nd.
That's exciting. And talk a little bit about there's a kind of a teepee-shaped kind of cylinder on the building. Can you talk a little bit about that? I've heard so much about that.
Yeah, so as they were designing the Indian Health Board, they really wanted to be intentional about bringing in culture and tradition into the building. And so that front building is actually made to resemble a jingle cone, because we know the jingle dress is a medicine dress and a really important dress for healing. And so to kind of honor that, they made the front of the building resemble a cone.
Wow, that's very cool. That is so cool. And again, I want to remind everyone too, on August 27th, that the gathering, the Elders Brain and Health gathering from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. So, Indi, let's talk a little bit more about, this is a thing that I really, for my family, everybody has high blood pressure, and it's amazing. And if you don't take care of it, sometimes that high blood pressure gets stuck at a number that's not good.
Yeah, and I think with high blood pressure, it's often called the silent killer because most often, even when our blood pressure is high, we're not aware that it's high. And so over time, when our blood pressure is high, that puts us at greater risk to have like heart attack, stroke, other heart disease. So definitely, I think that's why I kind of always stress like even when you are feeling well, it's important to kind of come see the provider. And a good time to do that would be like annual physicals, um, you know, s- and it just gives you opportunity to check in with your provider when you are feeling well, and then also gives you a chance to kind of know your numbers so that you can take appropriate action, whether that's lifestyle changes, including like nutrition or physical activity, or if that's the discussion of starting a medication, or changing your meds to make sure that what you're currently on is working for you.
Yeah, and then we talk too a lot here in Native Earth Radio, and I know you guys do too at Indian Health Board about the traditional medicines. You want to touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, so at the Indian Health Board, we a large part of what we do is we provide, Western medicine, but also we honor, traditional medicine, and we, offer patients if they, would like sweetgrass, sage, tobacco, cedar, at their appointments. And so if a patient wants to take that home, they can, and kind of um, use that medicine as a part of a tool to take care of their selves.
Yeah, that's always good. And again, I want everyone to know how to get to learn more about Indian Health Board. Go to indianhealthboard.com. A lot going on. Great. So this is a really good question because I'm married and I have a partner, and how do men support women in their health? And that's something that we need to talk about too.
Yeah, so when we think about heart health and overall wellness, there's a connection with chronic stress. And so I think talking about how men can support women, I think, it's kind of like the practical everyday support. Often our women are caregivers and caretakers. And so, it's even, you know, helping manage the household, I think, is like kind of one thing that what can really take a load off for women. And so it could be as simple as even you notice the dishes need to be done. It's like taking care of the dishes, helping out with mealtime, kind of taking the mental load, and which kind of helps alleviate stress from our women, our caretakers.
Wow, that's a really really good point. And we need to be good to our relatives and to our partners and everything. Do you have anything else you want to bring up before we let you go? Because this has really been informative, and I'm really glad, Indy, that you were able to come on Native Roots Radio.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I think I just want to say that, I think heart health is a family effort, it's a community effort. And so we just kind of got to be good to one another, be good relatives.
Yeah, definitely. So I look forward to you to coming on every couple of weeks. This will be fun to catch up on what's happening at Indian Health Board, and really excited to be a part of your family and learn more about Indian Health, the board. So I really appreciate you coming on. Again, indianhealthboard.com for more information. Indy, any last words here?
No, I think I just want to invite everybody to come down to the Elders Brain Health event on August 27th, and we'll be at the Indian Center. So come and join us. We look forward to seeing everybody.
Wow, I really appreciate you coming on, and let's do this again. A lot of great information. As I don't know if you've seen, but a lot of our people that are watching this on social media have really been commenting a lot. So really appreciate you coming on and talking to our relatives in a good way.
Thank you for having me.
Right on. Well, that's a total amazing. I just really appreciate whenever we get information about health, and especially in Indian country. Really, really appreciate this. Again, learn more about IHB, Indian Health Board, at indianhealthboard.com. What a great show. A lot going on. We're going to see everybody at the fair. You'll be able to meet Misko in person. She'll sign some autographs, I'm sure, and some. I'll put her on real quick here. We only got 30 seconds left, but we'll have, you'll be signing autographs, right, Misko?
I guess according to you, Robert, I guess I'll be signing autographs.
All right, excellent. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on, it's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, join, and vote. We're still here. We are the 7th generation. See you all tomorrow. Ho!
Fair.